How to speed up Shopify website. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 ways and examples by using my own demo Shopify account, right, on different things that you could do to improve the speed load times of your Shopify website. But before we start there, I want to share with you why optimizing your Shopify website is important. So a slow website can cause visitors to leave before they view your product, right? Or add something to cart or complete a purchase. Just think about yourself, right? Whenever you're checking out a store, right? And if it loads really slow, you either try to refresh it because you maybe think it's your internet, or you just exit and you try to go somewhere else, right? Where they're selling maybe a different product, right? But like, it still does the same thing. So that business store, right? They lost your business because their store website was going too slowly, right? And also, it could hurt your ranking inside of Google as well, since page speed is one of the factors that Google looks at when deciding where to rank your store. So this is why it's really important to make sure your store is optimized for speed when you're selling on Shopify. All right, so let's start with the first one. First one is optimize your images on your Shopify store, right? So many people like to upload large images, and so this is one of the biggest reasons why Shopify stores load really slowly, right? Before uploading images, right, resize them and compress them. Really important, right? So you can, like, if you have like a high like res image, you might want to change it to like PNG, JPEG, right, are one of the files that Shopify supports, and it lowers a lot the memory of the image as well, right? And you still get that high quality image, even if the size is a lot smaller when you're uploading it to Shopify. So to do this, right, you could just right click on the image itself, right, on your desktop to change the file format, right, if you're on the Mac, right? You could usually just go, or you can use a free tools usually online. You could Google, turn, X file into JPEG file, and there will be tools so you can upload and it'll export it as the file that you want it, right? Number two, remove apps you don't use, right? So every app you install from the Shopify store, right, adds extra code to your store. The more apps you have running, right, the more files your customers need to load. Go through your installed apps and remove anything you're no longer using. So let's go ahead and show you how you can do this exactly. So let's say I want to remove some apps from my Shopify store, right? To do this, you could go on the bottom left here, click settings, go ahead and select apps. Once you're in the apps, you'll be able to review all the apps that you have installed right now, right? So if you had like more than 10 and you're noticing that the speed is loading really slowly, right, you might want to remove the app and also contact the developer of those apps. You can do that by clicking the 3 dots and get support, right, which will open up a special email where you can send a message to the developers of every third-party app, right? If you think that maybe a Shopify app is causing the issue, again, you want to go ahead and get support or reach out directly to Shopify to let them know, right? So again, this is a great way just to clean up your store as well and see if this is causing any speed load times, right, inside your Shopify store. The next thing that you can do is use a fast theme. So not all Shopify themes are built the same, right? If you're using Shopify themes from a third party like site, those are a little bit more sketchier, right? So you might want to just check if it's like legit. And to be safe, right, you always want to just use the Shopify online store here and use the theme store that Shopify provides you right here, right? You could use either free themes from Shopify, or you can use paid themes as well from third-party Shopify vendors, right? And one of the best things is that you could quickly access support when you need help with a Shopify theme as well from from a third-party theme, right, from a Shopify partner, right? And so really important to also, another tip is that some themes, right, include lots of animations and sliders, right, for the aesthetics to look nice, and so sometimes this can actually cause a lot of load wait times, right? So if speed is important, you might want to choose a lightweight, well-optimized theme, right? Again, there's a ton of free themes that you could go from that are really good and lightweight, right? One of my favorite ones is called Spotlight, right? Super simple, as you can see, right? If I'm selling clothing, this might be a store that I want to design, right? Or like if I was selling like food, this might be one I would want to use, right? As well. Again, most of these Shopify themes are optimized for speed, so speed is never really going to be an issue when it comes to if you're using a Shopify theme like one of these. And also, a tip here is to make sure your theme is up to date with the latest update. How you could do and confirm that your theme is up to date, right, is by visiting here and just check version here, and you can see you're up to date on the latest version. If there was an update, there'll be a button here to say update, and what that would do is update and create a duplicate theme under draft theme, so that you have a free updated theme right here that you could go and review and to see if that will improve the theme speed. When I used to work at Shopify support, this was a very simple trick that I did a lot, was update the theme, and that will usually fix the issue for customers when it came to speed load times as well. And the fourth thing here is reduce third-party scripts. So when you download a third-party app from the Shopify App Store, right, things like chat widgets, tracking pixels, review apps, analytic tools, right, can all affect performance. Keep the tools you need, but remove anything that's not providing value, right? So removing these scripts in the theme editor, you might need to reach out to a developer, right? So let me just show you quickly on how you can access this. So if you go to the theme editor by clicking edit theme, right, and then from here we could go ahead and click the app embeds, right? So as you can see here, I have this off right now, but if it's on, right, it will show up right there, right on the bottom right. Right, so this is where you could go ahead and turn off an app and just test to see if that's causing an issue. Now, if you think a script might have is still in the code of your theme, right, then you'll need to go ahead and click the three dots, click edit code, and you'll need to work with a developer to, if you're not comfortable using code, right, to see if there's any issues in the app on your theme store, right? Because these codes, right, can sometimes just cause like slowness when it comes to loading your speed, right, for a Shopify store. So again, you want to click the three dots, edit code, and if you don't feel comfortable with editing code, right, you should go reach out to a developer who might know and will be able to quickly review your store to see if there's any issues with the load times. And then the last thing you might want to do, right, is a homepage, is simplify your homepage, right? So a homepage packed with videos, right, animation sliders, and dozens of sections can slow things down. You would be surprised how many stores I've worked with when I was a Shopify support, right? And it was, they had a lot of things going on, like a lot of videos, images, right? And it was just really slowed a lot because it's a lot of like memory, right? And so you want to keep it simple and clean, right? Keep it clean, focus, so customers can start shopping faster. And that's the most important thing, right? Is customers being able to check out your product without an issue, right? And if you're not sure what's slowing down your store, right, you could check your Shopify performance report. To do that, you could go ahead to your theme here in online store. And if my store was not password protected, right, it will show up right here as well, right? Sometimes it might be here now too. No, it's not here. Not here. Right, but yeah, the online store, right, you could go ahead and just it'll show up a bar here, and you'll be able to review if it's in red, right, you'll be able to see, okay, there's something wrong with it, right? But if it's green, then you're good to go, and your Shopify store is loading really quickly, which is really good, right? And you can also use Google Page Speed Insight to help review your speed load time. Now, important to note, if you're using Google Page Speed Insight, Google Page Speed Insight does not have access to the data like Shopify for your Shopify store, right? So if Shopify is showing green, 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 and your speed is loading, you gotta trust Shopify that their data, your store is loading quickly, right, and above average. If you're using Google Page Speed Insight, right, Google uses the data from hundreds of stores that are showing up on Google, right? But Google doesn't have the data of each of those stores, right? They're using their own data from Google to help determine if your speed is loading compared to the hundreds of sites that they checked, right? So if Google Page Insights is showing red or showing some speed load times, right, you might want to kind of ignore it and focus only on Shopify, because Shopify has the data for your store, right? Google does not have access to Shopify's data for your speed, load times of your website. So just something to remember when you're reviewing speed insights with using other third-party tools like Google Page Insight. Right? And so that's it for now on how you can increase and speed up your Shopify website. Hopefully this video has helped you. And if you guys have any questions, comment down below and I'll be happy to help. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.